Jared Jones. I'm running the Top Dragster, Diesel Dragster anyway. We're out here at the UCC ODSS 2023. I think we got about 5 dragsters here this weekend to run. So we got some new guys coming in, and we got Maddie here with us, Paul Vasco, Michael Cordova, and Dan Snyder. So there's going to be mechanical motor Cummins, common rail Cummins, 2 Duramaxes, and 6.7 Power Stroke. So that's a mix of motors in this class. Is pretty cool. Awesome. So it's gonna be a showdown for sure. Well, we went up there to Rudy's and we broke a lot of stuff during qualifying, so we actually didn't qualify for the class. So Maddie got the win with that, and she deserved it. She ran some low 4s the whole weekend in the sun, so did good. But so we went up to the finals there. I was gonna run her in the finals. She had a bump box problem, I think. So we talked to each other, and she was gonna double bulb. Now I was gonna come in on the first bulb and light it, and I was gonna go that route. So I was coming up in RPM. She had a nitrous backfire, came back down. So then I came back down on RPM. We both timed out. So what they said was, they told Maddie to go down the track, and I was sitting there and I go, man, I'm going down this track. So I backed up out of the beans, and I told them I'm not going down it until you let me restart the tree. And I was gonna run a quarter mile anyway. Went up there and ran that quarter mile, ran a 6:17, 229, and it was like a 4:08 in the 8th or something like that, 188, 189 mile an hour. So that was our highlight of the weekend, you know, after breaking all the sprags and everything else from tire shake. We was just trying to get a grip on the car, and we got to race the track that we're given, so it's part of the game. Our 3 and 5 o'clock hit this weekend. I think we'll probably turn her back just a little bit, because it's going to be in the heat. It's going to be a little slimy out there maybe. It could be extremely sticky, one or the other. But either way, we need to pull her back and get down the track. But this evening, 7 and 9 o'clock run, I think everybody in the class is probably going to turn their wicks up. So,
what's up, everybody? Maddie here. We are at UCC and Outlaw Diesel Revenge with Firepunk. It is basically the diesel world's biggest event of the whole year. We're at Lucas Oil Raceway, which is one of the most legendary racetracks in the world. This is where NHRA comes for their start off to the countdown. This is what they call the Big Go. So if you follow me on Facebook, I call this the Diesel Big Go. So this is where we're gonna try to mix up some things, although the weather's not on our side. It's very hot out here for once in Indy. It's probably every bit of 92 degrees already, and it's only 11 a.m. So we're gonna try our best to see what we can do this weekend. So haven't changed anything since Rockingham. We did a local event at my home racetrack at Maryland International Raceway, and I actually reset the world record. I went a 394.1 at 190, so we haven't touched it. Everything is working great, so we're gonna keep it the same and hope for the best.
My name's Paul Vasco. This is a brand new precision dragster with an LML Duramax in it, and I am from Kutztown, Pennsylvania. So last year we had a dragster. It had a liquid cooled motor, which was pretty much a street strip engine out of his truck. Okay. And this year we decided to go a little bit different. So we cut the whole front end off, built a whole new front end so it could certify down to 6.0, put a solid Wagler LML block in it with his rotating assembly that Matt Hatfield went through, put it all together, made it all work. We have a stainless diesel GT 102 millimeter charger, and we have 2 stages of nitrous on it here with an air-to-water intercooler. Other big change is we went from a 4L80E to a Turbo 400, and we're going to see what she does here today. And we also put a Motec on it, because last year we ran, what, a 469 with a liquid-cooled motor and a stock ECM out of an LBZ. And he's been the mastermind between putting everything together, punching the keyboards, everything like that. So Mark is definitely the one that makes it all kind of come together. So the goal is to qualify, right? We want to make the field, and realistically, if we start running mid-4s, we can start chipping away and see what it does. Right now, we don't have a wheelie bar on the back, so we're going to have to see what it'll do in the 60 foot without being able to control it. Exactly. So depends what the track is and everything else. One reason why I wasn't at the first one is this was a bigger project than what we thought. And I got to give a shout out to S&S. They're the ones that wired it. We have their fueling components on here, and Andre did, I will say, an amazing job putting all the wiring together, integrating this whole package to make everything work. Because we went out testing yesterday at Wagler, and what we coasted to a 5.0 in the 8th when we lifted at 300 feet. Nice. So she's got some promise.
She wants to go.
So Mark actually helped me with another project. I had a 71 Chevelle with an LBZ in it, and great car, but that was when the EPA was cracking down on anyone that had a modified diesel in the street. And frankly, I just didn't want to put him or any other shop I was dealing with at risk by putting stuff on Instagram, Facebook, anything. Dragster popped up like that night on my Facebook feed. It was $3,000 for the roller. It was an old like 1998 chassis, the perfect thing to cut up and do this. Also, my wife made me promise that if I really want to go fast, I'm going to do it in the safest way possible, and I feel this is the safest way to go fast. So we're going to take it one race at a time. Definitely want to do it. I need to get comfortable with this car in 8th mile tracks. I like long tracks like this because I have tons of time. Tons of time to, if something doesn't work right, I can compensate. The 8th mile tracks, if this thing starts running as fast as we think, I need to make sure that I am on my game. So that way if something doesn't go right, I still get it slowed down in time. Because one thing with these is there's no suspension on the back. So if I hit the brakes too hard, it'll literally start bouncing the car, and at that point I have no control until it stops. So I love the ODSS series, definitely planning on going to Kentucky. Him and I need to talk about Shine and some of the other shorter tracks, but we'll see how today goes, and we'll take it one step at a time.
And then off he goes, 434.9, 188.83. Let the Rudy go down. She's making some steam if you were online. Vasco goes down 444.6, 164.
Yeah.
Down to 435 for 860.
That is
Boom! I love it. Hell yeah. If it doesn't go up, she can't let go of the button.
You come to me first, right?
Spool up in the pits, everything was great, fine and dandy. Go up to the line, go to do a burnout, doesn't want to spool. So that took us a couple tries, probably not the best idea. The motor had a little bit too much heat in it, but no big deal, whatever. So just got, I think it was a halfway decent burnout, I don't really know. And went up to the line, spooled perfectly fine, hit the pump, let go of the button, and shook pretty good. And it was right past 60, well it might have been before, 60 foot was a little slow, but right about where our lockup pin gauge is at 1.8, and it got a little hairy, got a little sideways, but let out of it, coasted to the end.
You were throwing fireballs, stuff was exploding back there, but like everything's all right, right?
For the most part, in the burnout, the popping and creaking, while the motor muffed, nitrous was on, so when I let go of the trans brake to try to get the burnout rolling, it just muffed the motor, shut it off, no big deal, started back up. I would assume probably when I shook there was a little something coming out. I don't really know. I can't see behind me, but there's a little bit of oil when we got down to the end of the racetrack. We're gonna clean it up, figure out where it's coming from, go over everything, wait for Andre to come over, look at the data, see what's going on, and then hopefully it cools down a little bit. We can try again soon. Try again. It's already 7, so I don't know. We might only get 2 tonight unless they run us till midnight. I don't know, but maybe 9 o'clock, 8:30, who knows.
All right, well, what we did is we turned the actual car down a little bit and put a lot of timing in my boost controller so I can be low boost coming out. And actually, probably went a little too far with that, and it pulled it down to like 2,700 RPM. It could be a blessing. Car went down the track anyway. Ran a 434, 188. So that was all right for us, but then you gotta see old Vasco went out, ran a 444, 160 some mile an hour, so that's his personal best so far, so he's getting down. Cordova ran a 435, that's his personal best in that car, 160 some mile an hour, and he had his shoots out pretty early, so I mean, mile an hour should have been in the buck 70s, maybe even 180. So those guys are making a good showing. Dan, he went down there shaking that car down, ran 5 something, but it's got a lot more in it, obviously. And Maddie, she just had I think she had a CP3 unplugged or something like that, so that was a problem they had. That's why it wouldn't light up the way it was. But we'll see them come back in Q2 and she'll rock the house. So.
But so right now, your strategy of trying to play it a little safe, I mean, that locked you in as #1 qualifier. Right?
Yeah, after the first one, but we got a long way to go. You know, I mean, they're all gonna step up their game this evening for sure. You know, so we're trying to figure out, you know, what should we do or should we leave it alone and just kind of take a little bit of delay out or whatever. But I don't know.
I would think just between the time you guys made Q1 and now, I can already feel there's a temperature difference.
Oh yeah, it's probably a good 10 degree difference so far.
Yeah.
So track will start coming around pretty good. Should anyway this evening. Right. Don't know when second round will be, but we're going.
Out the back door, 444.8, 163.22. Gets within striking distance of the class record. Michael Cordova out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Car does not shift down track. It a new ODSS ET record.
Hell yeah!
4.47, 668.53, a new personal best. Little bit of a shake. Ooh, over revs out the back door. 433.2. Takes off and it does not shift. 113.6 to the 60 foot, and at that point, it was over.
What's going on?
Nothing. I just put a training in it, and we smoked through what would be third gear clutch pack.
Okay.
I think Tony, old Durhammer here, he put a lot of nitrous on it, and I think the clutch pack was kind of on its higher side of tolerances, and it blew right through that thing. That's why I nosed over on that last pass.
Gotcha.
So we just threw our spare training in it. We'll go out for first round.
Yeah, because now no more qualifying, going right into
No more qualifying. Go straight first round. We got Snyder, Dan Snyder, Snyder Performance. So I can't take him lightly, obviously. You know, I mean, the dude's good. He races gas cars all the time. So he ain't no slouch. He's new to this game at the moment, you know, for a little bit. I mean, he's been racing for a long time with that car. It's just all new setup stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But you never know. He could throw a Hail Mary and basically anybody's game. I mean, all it takes is one little tire shake, one little blip in the throttle, man, and you can be getting beat. You know?
Yeah. And now with first round being at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I mean, we're pretty much the hottest part of the day.
Yep. So you gotta turn it down from what it was last night. You know, I'm not sure. I mean, Matty can probably do it, but the rest of us getting in the threes in the heat of the day is probably not gonna happen.
So day 2, drivers meeting this morning. Pros had one more qualifying session this morning. We decided to sit it out. Only 3 of them made it anyways. Nobody improved, so I'm still number 1 qualifier. So hopefully I can go into eliminations with a bye, possibly, maybe. We'll figure that out. They're running 670, 770, and ET. They're on their 2nd qualifier right now, and then I think when they're done and through that, we're going to start eliminations whenever they're ready for us. They're also running the dyno for UCC competitors, so we kind of have to take turns with who's doing what on the racetrack. So yeah, kind of just waiting for the call for a first round. So last night, obviously when we made it past sun was down, temperature dropped, the track was a lot cooler. It probably wouldn't have hurt to make one this morning in the heat, but we are tapping into a nitrous line and we're hooking up our 4th kit just because we need, the EGTs were getting a little spicy yesterday. So hooking up some more nitrous to try to cool it down and to help us out in this heat today. Just because we don't know what the track's going to be like. We don't know if it's going to be as bad as it was yesterday or if it's going to be better because we're getting some more trucks down. So just trying to get ourselves ready for first round and try to keep it alive and running through the rest of the day.
With an 8, 163.
Engineering 6 twin turbo Duramax cars.
So had to buy first round, just broke the beams. No point in possibly hurting anything. There was nobody next to me, no big deal. Jared did the same thing, no big deal. So this round we run Paul Vasco. First round he beat Michael Cordova. He went a 444?
I think it was a 444, yeah.
Yeah, he's big on the fours this weekend. So we'll run him, and we're just gonna run our lane.
So you went from just wanting to get down the track to now what? First elimination round win.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we've exceeded all expectations this weekend. I mean, we're just living the dream. Everything is icing on the cake at this point. The original goal was to beat our 469 from the old dragster with the factory ECM, liquid cooled motor, all that. And on the first pass went a 444. So right then and there, we qualified for the field. That just made our day, you know? Yeah, going through E1 and also running a 437. I mean, this morning, going into E1 and winning. I mean, we're just on cloud nine. We're enjoying the ride and having a heck of a time doing it.
Absolutely. So what's your game plan for round two?
Get it cooled off, get it turned around. We were on the trans brake for a little too long there, but go out there, race our race, you know? Look for both bulbs, get in there, have a good, clean race, and have fun.
Absolutely. Well, congrats, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, I'll call you back here in a while.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Woo!
We went up against Paul Vasco, went up there, did a great burnout in my opinion. Lit the beams, we both left. Paul unfortunately went 012 red, so he's on the wheel. Went A to B, reset the fast record, went 4.0 with an 8 at 188. So we're just back to back to back with this good luck right now. So hopefully we can keep it going in the finals because we got Jarrett. And I don't think that was a planned run for him. He had a little bit of some issues with tire shake and everything, so hopefully he gets it figured out and we can go side by side again. We had a beautiful morning this morning. Now the sun's coming out, so it's starting to get a little toasty. But yeah, final round against Jared. Went up there, did a burnout, lit the beams, let go of the button. Next thing I know, Jared's nowhere to be found next to me, so I was kind of mad, but wind light came on in our lane. Not how we like to do it. We like to have side-by-sides, but win is a win. Jared broke the sprag again, clutch car things. Yeah, we'll try again in Beach Bend, but we're coming home with a win. Ralph, our track prep guy's not here. He left yesterday. So I think they prepped probably until about the 3:30, and then after that it's kind of just whatever was left over. So actually Ben Shaddy, right before us, he kind of shook and got swirly right around the same spot. So yeah, shook, got out of the groove, just let out of it, went a 420 at 146 coasting just to get it down the racetrack in one piece. Yep, so next up on our schedule is Beach Bend in Kentucky. We are 2 out of 2 of the ODSS schedule. So hopefully we can keep these wins rolling.